Clarineers. You're listening to the U-High Clarionet. I'm Celeste Norian bringing you the latest news. The stay-at-home order is still in effect due to COVID-19. So today I'm shooting from my home and practicing some social distancing. With the stay-at-home order still in place, schools turn to online learning for the rest of the semester. Here's what U-High's online learning looks like.
For e-learning, with this whole pandemic that's going on, I've tried to keep in mind that students are going through a big change as well as teachers. And so I wanted to make all the learning activities available, but students able to work at their own time. And so a lot of times I've just kind of posted things at the beginning of the week on Monday, and the students have all week to get it done. And some of them do it, Monday, Tuesday, knock it all out. Others kind of go day by day. But if I had to choose, e-learning or traditional learning in a class, I would choose being in the class every day. Just being able to interact with students and keep those relationships going is one of the great things about teaching.
Our freshman PE on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're doing workout from a particular website that I gave them. And then they have to blog about it and just talk about what they liked, didn't like, what they could change, that sort of thing. And then Tuesday, Thursday, we are designing our own weightlifting program depending on the activity. So it has to have that as like kind of the main focus. And then after they design it, then on Thursday, they actually have to perform it.
I teach U.S. Studies, Intro to Business, and Consumer Economics. So for U.S. Studies and Intro to Business both, I created book projects, which I otherwise was not planning on including in my curriculum. When I stopped and thought about what could students be doing that would be meaningful to them and didn't just come across as busy work, reading was something that I think we could all do more of, and we now have the time to do. So that's kind of one way that I adapted my coursework. And then I have students create a lot of reflections and Flipgrid videos and encourage them to watch each other's videos and interact in that fashion so that we can still kind of see each other and try to maybe duplicate like in-class discussions as best as possible.
Well, some of the things that the World Languages Department is doing to help facilitate e-learning is by sharing calendars for the week and giving students assignments. Also, we are using resources like Flipgrid, Padlet, Edpuzzle, Flipgrid especially, so that students can practice speaking. One of the most important things with learning a language is being able to use it in context. And that's been one of the most challenging things because in the classroom, we're able to facilitate discussions and have students speak to each other and use the language. But with the e-learning, it makes it harder, obviously, because everybody is sheltering in place. And so we have activities where students can call each other and do the interviews that way so that they're still using the language. Also, the teachers are doing some really cool things, and that actually encourages and inspires me to use new things in the classroom.
Teachers are finding creative ways to enhance students' learning. Here is one example of chemistry teacher Jacob Davis teaching his AP class about polarity through a lab he performed.
To Experiments at Home with Clara. We're going to go through a couple different stations today as we begin to explore the ideas of polarity and intermolecular forces between particles. So she's got a toothpick here that's kind of dipped in some dish soap. So real quick, make a quick observation of what's happening inside the milk with the dye in the milk. And now Clara's going to take the dish soap on a toothpick and just touch it to the milk and see what happens. Whoa.
As all students had to learn from their home, teachers found other ways to understand concepts.
I want to be like in the classroom working directly with students, and I'm just really, really missing that right now.
I'm ready for the fall to get here and get back in the classroom with our students.
Students also shared their opinions about online learning at home.
Online school definitely has its pros and cons. The biggest one I can think of is that I'm able to do my homework whenever I want, and that kind of makes it feel like a weekend every day, which is always a bonus. But I would rather have actual school over this because I miss hanging out with my friends, talking to them, talking to my teacher, and it's just the atmosphere of the school makes it way better. I don't like online school and staring at my laptop the whole day, and I'd rather go to school, but it's the only option that we have right now, so we just have to get through it.
I can work at my own pace and choose when I'm going to do assignments, and that's really helped me out a lot. But I'd probably say the biggest drawback for me is the fact that the absence of like face-to-face teaching has kind of just made it a little bit harder to do things like getting my questions answered.
Online learning typically takes me a little longer than actual school because it's the class and then the homework all rolled into one. So it takes me a lot longer than an hour to finish all of one class's work. One reason why I like online learning is because it's more at your pace and you can absorb the information and what you're being taught more. One thing I don't like about online learning is I'm not able to connect or see my friends that often, and I miss all my classmates.
I find that I have learned a lot better in the classroom with a teacher explaining it to me in person, having more work to do in person.
For most of my classes with e-learning, we've just been doing worksheets or watching videos. And for all of my classes, I think we've had at least 1 or 2 Zoom sessions, which is really nice. I do like e-learning because I can work at my own pace and I can do it whenever I want throughout the day, but I do prefer school because of the social aspect.
I would much rather be at school because I find it very hard to get feedback. Instead of having just a quick face-to-face conversation with a teacher, you have to go through chains of emails and remind messages, and it would be so much easier just to have them look at your paper over your shoulder and give you feedback on the spot.
Online school has been weird for me. I don't know if I like it or not because I'm in the comfort of my own home, so I don't know if I should do, I don't feel like I have to do schoolwork, so it's hard to get me in the mindset to do schoolwork.
My teachers have been using Google Classroom and Zoom to communicate with us, and that's been pretty helpful just because we're able to talk to them and ask any questions that we need to about the assignments that we're given. But my transition to e-learning was hard at first just because I struggled focusing and staying on task with all my work. But once I figured out a schedule to get everything done on time, it's going a lot smoother.
It's all difficult in ways. I mean, it's easy but difficult, if that makes sense. It's hard not having a structure because I work most of the day. Then I get home and the last thing I'm trying to do is watch a 40-minute YouTube video.
It's hard not to have a physical teacher right in front of you to teach you these lessons, and then they also can't keep you on track all the time. Sometimes I find myself not focused or not feeling motivated, and so when you're in the school building, you have expectations. It's so nice to have people to learn with, and you're all doing the same thing, and you're all focused on the same thing, and I do miss that a lot. But one thing that I do like about e-learning is that I can take my time on everything, or I can go as fast as I want to. If I feel okay, I don't have to wait for everybody else. I know what I'm doing. I can just get through all my work like that.
I think it's really impressive what the teachers are doing.
Teachers are doing a good job of adjusting to this, and I think that it's the best alternative to what we have.
I feel like students have been really engaged and they've been working really hard.
I've been super impressed with students' willingness to engage with material, desire to learn overall, their critical thinking in terms of what we're doing.
We're going through this challenge together, but I think that it will strengthen us as a school because now we've actually learned about other resources that are out there. We can bring those back to the classroom. So when we do go back to our face-to-face instruction again, we will have even better lessons and more resources, and we'll be stronger as a school because of that.
Tune in next time for more U High news. I'm Celeste Norian from the Clarionet, and I'll see you later.